welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, June 10th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. It's another June gloom morning across the region with the visible satellite looking quite similar to yesterday. The marine layer is just slightly shallower today, with low clouds still hitting most of the usual coastal and coastal valley areas. And across the interior, it is nothing but sunshine as a warm and dry late spring day shapes up. Here's a look at the lightning map for yesterday, and what a difference a day makes. We only squeezed out a handful of strikes across the Sierra, in stark contrast to the hundreds, if not thousands of strikes we've seen most days for the past couple of weeks. And while I can't completely rule out an isolated strike over Mono or Inyo counties this afternoon, the trend is clear, and that is that we're transitioning into a drier pattern. Shower and storm activity will become a distant memory in pretty short order over the next several days. In place of these showers and storms, we will move into a warm and dry, but overall pretty typical June pattern. High pressure will be our main weather influence for many days to come. The high is a little stronger today, will weaken some later this week as Pacific troughing offshore nudges up against it, but then may re-strengthen over the desert southwest towards this weekend. All that adds up to a generally persistent forecast with only minor day-to-day changes. Thanks to the high-pressure influences, temperatures will run on the warm side for the next several days, though we're not expecting any extreme heat. With the stronger high pressure and slightly shallower marine influence, today will actually be the warmest day of the forecast period in some areas, especially across much of central California where triple digits are expected in the Central Valley. From today, we'll just cool very slowly and modestly through the end of the work week. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Friday, and this will be about the coolest it gets in most areas this week. So between today's warmer temperatures and these slightly cooler numbers for Friday, that pretty much gives you your range for the week. However, we may see some increased heat, especially across Southern California and the deserts by the time we get to Sunday and Monday, as that high pressure area re-strengthens. In addition, onshore flow will keep a persistent 1,500 to 2,500 foot deep marine layer in place through the duration of this week, with steady clearing of low clouds expected each day. This will continue to keep coastal areas cooler, also very typical for this time of year. The main difference between the next several days and most of what we've seen the past couple of weeks will be the drier conditions away from the marine influence. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 12 and 25% above and inland from the marine layer influence today, then drop into the upper single digits and teens from Wednesday through at least the upcoming weekend, with low to mid single digits across the deserts, which will become very hot and dry in this pattern. Winds will be primarily local and terrain-driven for the next several days. However, a steady westerly general flow will bring enhanced breeziness during the afternoon and evening hours, and the wind-prone mountain ridges and desert passes will frequently see afternoon and evening winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to 40 miles per hour through the weekend, occasionally higher. I'll also mention that there is a low but non-zero chance of a more significant northwest to north wind event towards Monday or Tuesday of next week. That's highly uncertain and probably a less likely outcome than just having a continuation of basically the same pattern, but did want to at least note that we're keeping an eye on it. We will see steady and in some cases significant drying trends in our dead fuel moistures over the next 7 days, with the biggest drops coming across the interior away from the marine influence. Take a look, for example, at our Southern Sierra PSA. We're just slightly below normal and well above critical thresholds at the moment, but by this weekend and early next week, we may be approaching or even exceeding record dry 100-hour dead fuel moisture for this time of year. And that will be the case across other PSAs as well, especially in Central California. So we will likely be knocking on the door of peak fire season conditions soon. We're moving to the top end of the moderate range for our large fire probability over the next few days, which is right about where we should be this time of year. We've been running below normal on fire potential of late due to all the recent moisture. But the warm, dry, and at times breezy conditions should lead to gradually increasing significant fire potential in the coming days above and inland from the marine layer, and will likely push us into an elevated probability for large fire by later this week. However, fire potential will still be mainly concentrated in the cured-out, grass-dominated fuel types. Live fuel moistures will see steady, though not rapid, declines in a pattern like this, and LFMs generally remain in unreceptive territory, but in some cases are or will start to trend towards levels where they could support or at least not significantly inhibit fire spread. Expect moderate initial attack activity to continue through the forecast period. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Wednesday, June 11th.